a second here. Good people. Let me share this. Alrighty. What is up? Testing out some stuff here. So, little double action. We got some TikTok on this side, some YouTube on that side. So, doing a little bit of both. Testing out the systems, kind of seeing how they play with each other. Went live earlier, got done doing some stuff. Finally got some of the final little things in place for our um, BDD workshop that we're doing. So that class is going live here in a few days. And I'm excited for that. So popping on to talk a little bit about that, answer some questions, hang out for a little bit. It's the insomnia hour, so that's kind of the thing we do apparently as of recent. So that's dope. But yeah, got that up. Uh, Talk some claims. If you have some questions, put them in the comments and I'll answer them and kind of hang out for a little bit. Um, Give you a little heads up on things that we have going on. So this coming week, have a few things at play. No, I do not work for the VA. The VA sure as heck don't pay for people to be up this late at night doing this kind of stuff. So, uh, exam request close meeting on TikTok. That just means that they basically don't need you to come on. They've already scheduled it, so you should probably be hearing from them. So it's just kind of an internal thing, not so much a you thing. Took your CMP exam class a few months ago. Money. I appreciate that, man. Thanks, you brother. Appreciate you. What's going on with you, man? How are you holding up, my brother? I should be in Texas in a few weeks. We're gonna be down there in April. If you're watching, let me know what branch of service you are from. What branch were you in? The years that you served. A few things we have going on this coming week. CMP class is on this coming Wednesday. ACE for CMP, so that's class is coming up. How to navigate your BDD claim, your transition roadmap. It's a class we put together for our transitioning active duty members. If you know someone or you are someone who's transitioning, getting out of service, thinking of getting out of service, all that kind of stuff, the link to that is in my bio. So you can get on the wait list for that, and that'll be going live next week as far as signing up and all that. And there's like about a good 30% discount or something if you're on the wait list. So heads up on that. Opened up my schedule, so I'm doing a few calls on Fridays and Mondays. The link to that is on my bio. So I know some people have asked, like, "Hey, can I now talk to you directly?" Blah blah blah. This is at the third. So my thought process for those sessions is going to be pretty much open agenda, right? So if it's CMP prep, if it's your claim, if it's strategy, if it's different things that you want to discuss, right? We have an hour, we'll talk. So link for that is in the bio as well. To be able to at least share some of that. Um, we're gonna be getting close to the Zell, so the VFW area is where we're gonna be on that side. David M, active duty retirement this summer. Awesome. How long were you in? And what? Let's see, Army. Where you at right now, David? Let's see. On Tech okay. Let's see. What do we have here? Vietnam's in the building. Has CMP twice for tinnitus. I've been CMP type for that. What can I expect? They may have missed something in the first one, but they may be correcting something for the second one. Sometimes that happens. A sleep apnea rate at 50% regardless of what level of severity. Yeah, if it's medically required to have a CPAP, the question was if it's 50% regardless of severity. The severity doesn't matter. It's more so if it's medically required that you have a CPAP. That's the key for the sleep apnea side of the house. Um, BFW in Texas. Learned so much. Hey, man, that's the goal, man. I appreciate it. Um, Again, we're doing a little bit of a double lives here. So we got some TikTok on this side, we got YouTube on this side. TikTok is where we mostly do a lot of the work that we're doing. Starting to get back on the YouTube side as well. But they kind of have this whole live thing we can do on the phone now too. So that's kind of dope. So a little more personal, a little more kind of night how they do it on the other side. So a little comparison test and see how that goes. It's hard to read though. I can swipe. You know what I'm saying? On this side, on this one, it's just a little bit more. Eh. 20 years in June, currently assigned Fort Stewart, Georgia. Check. Check. All right. Does the VA and implants for sleep apnea? I've heard some folks getting into that, but not so much. I haven't talked to anybody recently who's actually had implants and things like that, so that's something for sure. If you claim something for disability but no paper trail, what are the odds that they pursue it? So if you do a standard claim, they'll work on a claim and look at the things that you've given them. So that is something for sure that is available for them, right? There's no paper trail. Many veterans don't have paper trails. That's not out of the norm. Pretty normal for that to happen like that. So that's not too crazy. Just got denied for a measly 10% increase for tinnitus and took all exams and have proof. You got denied an increase of tinnitus? What's tinnitus already 10%? Because it doesn't go any higher than 10. Average rating for PAC Act claim. So that's a big misconception. PAC Act claim is not a claim. PAC Act is more an umbrella. There are things within PAC Act you can file as cancers. There's all kinds of different things and issues like that. So it really depends on what you have, right? Like Agent R's and things like that. You already have 10%. So what did you file for that was denied? I guess that's a better question. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Thanks for likes and support and all that good stuff on the YouTube side of the house. Yeah, David, I was saying I have a link in my bio. We're doing a BDD workshop class. We're calling it How to Navigate BDD Claims, Your Transition Roadmap. That's going to be on 19 March. So we're covering the BDD process. We're going to be covering A to Z, getting things together. So if someone who's out a year, 2 years out, about to start the process, that entire thing. We're talking gathering evidence, personal statements. We're talking CMPs. We're talking, strategies, things of that such. If the time comes that you have to look at potentially filing down the road, etc. So different resources and things that we'll have too. So that'll be something that will be a good class. But there's also a free BDD checklist that we put together, so you can check that on the link in bio that I have. Designed to thank you, man. Look, it's the insomnia hour. We are talking VA claims, so you're welcome. Designed to said, thank you. I can't sleep, so I hear you, brother. Um, Let's see here. Pack Act, weasel fume. That's more so toxic exposure. So again, you were exposed to something, but what do you have? That's the misnomer. I was exposed to JP8 fuel. I was exposed to these toxins, or I was at this for whatever. Okay, check, got it. You were exposed to something toxic, but then what do you have? That's the thing, right? I was exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam, but what do I have? I'm going to claim, let's say, diabetes or Parkinson's, or I was in the Gulf. I had respiratory issues. I have GI issues, IBS issues, GERD issues, right? I was exposed to these toxins, this fuel, etc. And in turn, now I have this skin condition, that skin condition, whatever the case may be, right? So that's kind of how that works. For sure, Dave. But again, and the biggest thing is, like I said, I'm not big on pushing a thing. I just want to make sure that we're communicating it because I'm always being asked these things. But the checklist is free. You can go ahead and grab that. Links in bio for that. The workshop course is more so for those that now want to actually jump into a class, do it live. So that's gonna be Tuesday, 8 p.m. It'll be recorded, so you'll be able to kind of go back to it. Because I know some people are like, yeah, wait till later. Like, no, we're gonna cover everything. You'll be able to go back to it and have access to all the materials and everything. So when the time comes, you can kind of dissect things as needed. But the goal is to be able to cover the class, have a Q&A, answer questions as best we can, give you resources, walk through the whole process, and that'll be the one live we do. And then from there, the course will be available on demand, but it won't be live, right? And then I put my link there, so I'm starting to take a few calls, and I like doing the calls, but I gotta manage it because I do a lot of different things with my organization. So I'm starting to do calls. My link is open again, talking to my team, having a conversation. That's all free for an assessment. But if somebody wants to have a conversation with me and wants to do like an in-depth conversation about strategy or CMP prep, whatever, one-on-one, that type of stuff there, that's something that folks have requested. So I put that together. So I'm adding a few slots on Mondays and Fridays right now, kind of gauge it. Plus, it also helps me to kind of see what our veterans need. So that also helps me better create certain things. So that's there also as an option. Where do you sign up for the class? Link in bio, Lizzie. There's a wait list that you will see for the BDD class wait list that's there. So that's how you'll be able to do that. Um, Check. Let's see. Can I claim flat fee? I've been out. Yeah, just gonna need some stuff to help support the argument there. T-Rex. So it's common, but again, life happens after service. So is it life or is it this or is it that, right? Thanks, Joseph. Run up the likes. I like it. I have no clue how to get the likes up on the YouTube side of the house. I just put the video up on YouTube. Everybody's asked again. I put up on TikTok, but it's on YouTube. I find that it's a little bit easier sometimes to watch some of the longer content on the other platform. So I won't bash. But I put up a video on the proposed changes for sleep apnea, mental health, and tinnitus. So people ask about it all the time. It's a 10-minute video, but I break down those three sections. I show you what the changes are. I break those things down, sit down, watch the video. I cover the proposed changes. They're not effective. They haven't been passed. It's all proposed. So I discussed that. That video just went up on YouTube. And I've been laughing my ass off hysterically with the last video I put up on TikTok about the dude who hammers his hand, and he's just like, "Dad, damn it, every time." I've been dying laughing watching that thing. Okay, let's see. All right, but I'm rated 70% for back, ankle, fighting to get my shoulders, etc. Would I lose my current rating? No, no. So you're not losing your current rating if you're filing for new things. That's a misconception, right? Understanding that sometimes a veteran is due for a reevaluation, so as they file for something new, there may be an instance where it's like, okay, yes, you are do a rating review, right? But no, again, you having diabetes does not get diminished because you have arthritis and hypertension now. So it's just understanding how you file these things. That's all. Can I claim anything from living? Again, Maria, it's not so much okay. You were exposed to that, but now what is it that you have, right? So that's why I like to do these type of lives because it's a very valid question. I was exposed to this. Can I file for that? Well, no, you're not filing for what you were exposed to. Rather, you're filing for now the residuals of what you were exposed to. So you were exposed to something toxic in your case, Maria. But now you've developed fill in the blank, and that's the argument that we're doing, right? So that's kind of how that works. Okay. All right, so we answered that one. Shall relate multiple issues spawning from one injury or claim injuries from military service. So you're going to tie it back, Charlie Staffy, to service. That's the kind of the way you want to do this. So the question was, can I relate multiple issues spawning from one injury or claim injuries from military service? Again, if you're in service and you can claim on to service, that's fine. But for some people, not so much. It doesn't work that way. So you have to be realistic that some things may be a secondary. You can have multiple secondaries to one condition. So it really depends kind of what makes more sense because you may not have an argument to file something to service. So um, for the new folks popping in, let me know what branch of service you were in and the years that you served. Let me know if you're rated or not. Where are you in the process? Have you filed a claim? Are you looking to file a claim? Are you transitioning? It's always cool to kind of know where folks are at. Let's see. Eli Clark, same situation. So Tara, that really goes into the same thing. All of these toxic exposure, Tara, exposure risk activity has opened pathways to make these arguments. So those are things for sure to look at. Let's see, diagnose. Would I get medically retired or meds? SEP. It depends, right? It depends how they want to treat that on your side and what the retention, regulations are, because these things always change. Okay, we said that about that. What's the rating? Percent. You're welcome. Currently diagnosed. Okay, I already said that. Went to arthritis. Risk. Right, combined with my back. So it's like an additional secondary type of thing there. CMP got my CMP last appointment tomorrow. Tomorrow the official wait begins. I hope it's not too long. Fingers crossed for you with that. Sometimes it does take a while, but it's kind of crazy. Appreciate your RMZ. Virtual psych exam Zoom. Bubba Brown. Air Force in the process, 7 active duty firefighter, Navy. When's your CMP? So for virtual CMP exams, that's a good one. One of the things I will say, if you look at the content that I put up, a lot of veterans can relate to the things that I share. Like I put up the one about the MST veterans who had a horrible CMP, and I bring that up because really, when it comes to these virtual exams, you really want to communicate, right? So I think that's the one thing that veterans sometimes they get a little bit kind of scary because I'm gonna have a CMP and it's gonna be virtual. How can I communicate things? Will they really capture my truth, etc.? That's understandable, right? It's really more so now understanding that you want to be able to really communicate and tell that story and relate to the person on the other side, right? So in your case, Bubba, right, whatever you're dealing with, right, communicate that, right? How do these things affect you? Have a conversation, not just sitting there spitting out, I have these symptoms and pain. Like, what does the pain cause you? What does it limit you? How does it affecting you? These are the things that have to be discussed. I go into great detail in our class because, for example, this Wednesday coming up, I'm doing our ACER CMP class. And in that class, I kind of run through, pre-claims, mental health, seeing your doctor, then what is a CMP, what to expect, what not to expect, what to do, what not to do, bad CMPs, what to do if you have a bad CMP. I talk mental health, I talk range of motion, internal stuff, and I talk statistics, etc. And then we go to a Q&A, right? So there's a lot to unpack when it comes to that thing there. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you, Kelly. So, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to that, but really it's telling your story, making that connection, understanding how deep to go, peeling back the onion layers. That's a big one. But if you could do that, Bubba, I think you'll be good. Check out some of the content videos I have here. If you're able to pop into class next Wednesday, you're more than welcome. Pop on in, check it out. But again, I have playlists and things like that you can take a look at on the CMP side of the house. Chief Funny Officer, retired Navy, 70%. Appreciate you for popping in. Okay, 16 years, National Guard, Insomnia Hour. I took one of your classes last year and went from 86 to 93. Awesome, brother. So yeah, a little bit closer. You're right there, right there. So check. And that's like the hard push now, getting those last two to push you over. Waiting on CMP results now. Okay. What was the CMP that you had that you're waiting for results on? Total pressure. Let me know. Air Force, now 90% CMP exam, found anemia. I didn't file it. Now I'm needing infusions. Can I file for that? It was noted in my chart doing active duty, but I was never treated for it. Yeah, you could definitely file for it to service, right? Again, the severity and kind of where you're at, is in your record, so that works in your benefit. Some vets not so much, so they have to find other ways to make an argument. Um, let's see. Well, my claim over because the physician who did my exam, it was her first and she was all over it. When was that exam island flavored? So somebody said basically I just had a CMP exam and I wanted to redo it because basically the person didn't know what they were doing and it was their first time. Valid point, valid, thing there. So that can really vary, you know what I mean? Okay, yeah, so that's already decided and it's done. Did they already decide that claim for you? Because in that case, you're probably better off potentially if you were underrated. Again, we'll rewind. What was the claim for? What was the result? And I'll answer from there. Pending hearing, I'm back. Been 2.5 years. Yeah, it's not too bad. 2.5 years is up for par. So hopefully you're moving up in the queue. But I think I was live early today. Someone was saying they were waiting for like 3+ years or so. So I mean it varies. I know some folks have been way longer than that. But check. Let's see. Increase for both knees, ankles, shoulder, back, and hip, and then you file for IU. Check. Okay. Yeah, let me know how it works out for you for the IU on the TDIU side of the house. Lost my appeal for PTSD, even though I had favorable findings. Now, what appeal, Jason? Find out what the reason for the denial was. They're favorable findings, but there's something missing on the service connection part, and that's where you're being tripped up on there. So that's something to potentially push back on. It was for back. Okay, okay. And what was the result of that island flavor? Let's see. They have the cab, and they say 16 engineer. Michael Wesley. I didn't see the first thing you put there, Michael. Um, so yeah, when you're looking at the guard, right, active duty periods, light up duties, are going to be huge for that activation periods. Again, the biggest thing is when did this happen, right? Were you on drill status, duty status, or not? That makes a difference for a lot of these reservists, and that's usually the problem, because a lot of M-Day service members and so forth tend to just not do um, some of the paperwork or not want to do those things. So that happens a lot. I'm still out waiting on my BDD claim to finish out. Did you do all your exams already, Cantor? Let's see. How is the VA able to combine my TBI with anxiety? That's a good one. I have a video up on TBI. You can take a look at. It's on both platforms, both on TikTok and YouTube as well. But the biggest thing for the TBI side of the house is the brain covers everything. So what folks don't realize is you have residuals, and things get lumped with TBI a lot. Mental health gets lumped with TBI a lot, as does migraines, because there's a cognitive, emotional, mood aspect to TBI. So, for example, if I'm arguing TBI and I'm talking to the mental health symptoms, and I'm talking to the event, and I'm talking everything mental health related, mood related, they're going to say we can't differentiate the anxiety from TBI, so they lump it together. But conversely, I'm talking about auditory problems, locomotive problems, visual field problems, other physical ailments that I have attributed to my TBI. Now that changes the conversation because we're able to separate the symptoms. So that is a very common thing that happens with PTSD TBI, anxiety TBI, migraine TBI, because there's overlap in symptoms because it's the brain, right? It's attributed to everything. So you do have migraines and you do have TBI, so they lump it. But if you have migraines, but you have TBI, you can speak to other aspects of TBI beyond just the headache or the neurological aspect of things. Now that helps you better make an argument there to, have those things separated. But that's kind of how that works. Okay, December is in remission, I'm assuming, on the leukemia side. Then suffered his first fracture. What's the status now there? User Kuno. Been on a few months now, waiting on vets VS to process my exam results before the VA gets them. Okay, check. Little herb and wait. Got it. 90% here. If I claim sleep apnea, would it be able to up my status? Well, yeah, Nanya. If you don't have sleep apnea rated and you're able to file it, whether direct to service, if you have records, you can complain that, or you go secondary to something else, that then would be added. So let's say you're a 90% through and through, right? A raw score 90, not a 85, it rounds up to 90, but a raw score 90. That means you have 10% left. 10% is not rated. So a 50% rating for sleep apnea is 50% of that 10. That means 5. 5 plus 90 is 95. That rounds up to 100. Conversely, if let's say you're 85, rounds up to 90, really you have 15 left, and the 50% sleep apnea is only 7.5. That doesn't take you to 95. You know what I'm saying? So that's where um, it gets kind of tricky with folks, and they end up in 93, 94 land. Let's see. Just finished my final CMP exam yesterday, Tristan, under the tubes. What was the CMPA for? Let's see. How do I get a current diagnosis? See a doctor, ER doctor, personal provider, etc. Those things all definitely help and work. Let's see. What years was Iraq? I was in Iraq 2009 to 2010. That was one of my first tours. I was going to be in Kuwait and Iraq in '03, but then we got rerouted. So I was stateside for that, and we were stood at mob stations for a bit. Stateside CONUS doing a bunch of different things there. Uh, could my shoulder injury I got during IB be labeled? Again, it's not the shoulder injury; it's the event per se. Call sign on YouTube, same as here. So veteran DP. I'm not very creative. So veteran DP on both sides of the house is where you'll find me pretty much on all social media. Um, so again, I understand different platforms are different things. So like I'm really doing it right. I'm here on one side. I'm here on the other side. And I think it's kind of cool because they're trying to push like a similar experience. So I just like testing things and seeing how they kind of sit side by side. It is a completely different thing. So like I can swipe this way and it brings up all the comments to see it better. Not so much on this side. So I'm like, crap, I can't really see this too good. But the longer form content is better to archive and check. So I'm gonna start doing more stuff on the other platform on this side, because it's easier to kind of go back and see things there. So here it's more quick to the point, haha stuff, and kind of how it works, which is fine. This side, more research, more in-depth things. So again, depending on what you need to do, you want to sit down, watch something. I personally would say, like I bring up charts when I'm talking about things. Some of the videos I go in depth, like the one I just posted, it's a 10-minute video. I'm telling you straight up, it's not a quick little hee haw, scroll, but I cover the proposed changes that people talk about. Kevin, so you got to think about, sleep apnea, tinnitus, and mental health. And I'm showing you in the regs, I'm showing you the details, I'm explaining to you. That's one of those videos that I would say, screen it, cast it to your television. You can watch what I'm doing. So like things like that, I like that platform because you can't do that here, right? Like I'm trying to read what I'm trying to do here. It's hard to read. Get on the computer, put on a tablet. If you can put on TV, again, especially if you're trying to really figure out what I'm trying to teach you, I think that has a place for it, right? So I'm realistic as to what works. Some comments were filtered. Be careful what you're typing on this side of the house. They're real big now in community guidelines. So mentioning often yourself, mentioning medication, things like that. Be careful because it literally tells me that comments were stripped, so I can't really even see what you were typing. VA here is awful. I have a diagnosis of PTSD, combat and complex PTSD, among other things, and they denied me everything. Vegas. So that's a few things. So let's actually break that down. So you have a diagnosis of PTSD. You filed a claim. How did you file the claim? And again, not so much for you, Jen, but more so for other folks, as this happens a lot with a lot of different conditions. So I always like to point out a few things. Within the VA, we have three different administrations. One of them, what's going on, Attorney Dash? One of them is three different administrations within the VA. We have VHA, which is the Veterans Health Administration. We have the BVA, which is the Veterans Benefit Administration, and we have the NCA, which is the National Cemetery Administration, which we don't really talk about for obvious reasons because that's not pertinent to the conversation right here. But VHA, BVA, and healthcare is just that. It's healthcare. Think of it like Medicare, Medicaid and disabilities, Social Security. Even though it's all under the VA, they're different administrations. So the VA will give you a CPAP or diagnose you with complex PTSD, what have you. But the minute you're making an argument to benefits, there's another criteria in place that has to be there. So a diagnosis is one of them, but then event stressor in place, etc. And then obviously the nexus connecting those things. In the PTSD side of the house, right? What was the rationale? Were they able to verify the stressor? What kind of PTSD are we talking? Is it something, is personal assault? Is it MST in nature? So it's a few more variables they have to be able to verify when it comes to a few different things here and there. So um, something there to for sure, factor in when it comes to that. Let's see, Tristan. Last one, okay, this last one was a general physical for lower back, bilateral knee migraine, sinusitis, and sleep apnea. Separated December 22, started claim to September 2023. Check. Okay. How do you think it went for you? But on your side, Jen, when it was the denial, you could potentially push back. You can appeal, see what they're saying was missing, and you could definitely push back. So it's just the BA writ large where that happens in many places. Again, without more, I need a little more context to kind of see, what did they tell you, whether they deny, and kind of figure from there for sure. Let's see. Catching up on the comments. Um, my claim 1 year separation date, put a chance of being service connected. Yes. Bubba. Any word on mental health rating changes going into effect? Cancer, yeah. If in case you missed it, I literally just put a video up. It's up here on this side, but it's also on the other tube side. That just went up today, and that's I cover all those changes. But there is no changes yet. It's proposed. Nothing's changed, and I cover the ins and outs of what is proposed. Appreciate you. Sleep apnea about the summer. Again, there's nothing coming this summer. It's proposed. They have a deadline of June. So that's really what it comes down to. Really spring when I get technical. But spring is the deadline, June is the deadline, and then from there they'll be able to kind of see if they do pass it. The big change that they're proposing for sleep apnea is going from medically required CPAP to the medication CPAP, etc., CPAP, APAP, or anything in between is not effective in mitigating your sleep apnea. So it goes from required use, required prescription of the device, not use, device, to the device is not effective. Okay, 90% now, 2 claims up, higher review. How long should it take? It depends ish on kind of what it was, etc. So, okay, CMP exam tomorrow. Back foot infantry, kind of, will that kind of validate my claim? Yeah, but again, it doesn't guarantee a thing, but you have things to point to for sure. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Catching up. Backlog, got that. Run up the lights. Joseph is in the building, man. I tell you, I gotta put Joseph and Wonky in the same team, man. I was on a live last week, and Wonky was like, "Man, we must have a room full of Marines or something." I forgot what he said. Where are the likes? Where are all the stuff? That was pretty crazy. On the tube, I have no clue how to get the likes up. I see thumbs up, but I don't know how it works. 'Cause it's a whole different thing. Let's see, discerning. How can I see what disabilities are static? Because I would like to get PT as soon as possible, so I don't have to worry about the future examinations. So yeah, that makes sense. You can get your code sheet is the thing that would have all that detail there. But more so, if you're filing for other things and you're still not 100%, for example, you have the ability to file, and then once they give you P&T, that pretty much will kind of solve that there. So knowing like which are static, okay, it's good to know that, but that won't necessarily give you strategy for other things there. But the code sheet would have that. Want to try to get an increase to 100% PNC mental health. I'm still working on a very limited basis because of my FMLA. Will being employed hurt my chances? No, 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 my mind, no. But check out the video I have here on the jump from 70 to 100. I cover that on the mental health side if that's something you're trying to do for sure. Brian's point there and the number for sure is the way to go. So again, if a VSO you work with or have, they can access those things. VA as well can support when it comes to that. Best way to get PAC Act claims approved. Again, you meet the requirements, but then from there, again, like Gulf War, Agent Orange, things like such. Do you have a diagnosis? Do you meet the requirements? You submit it, and you're able to make the argument. That's really kind of a thing with PAC Act. If you meet those requirements, your warrant location, etc., and you have a condition that's listed, you have a solid argument to make. Airborne. Let's see. We're getting a pay for colon. I haven't seen a pay for cola pay. I've been seeing on TikTok. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Some stuff sometimes gets a little bit kind of taken out of context on social. Like, okay, it's coming, but why is it coming? So I have not seen that. But if there is something, I will put up something, and you will see me show you how and why. You're welcome. Let's see. On the CMP, I think it went well. We'll see after I get a decision letter. I really appreciate all education from you here and on TikTok. You would definitely help me prepare. No surprise at the exam. And that's the point there, Tristan. You know what I mean? Tristan said he was prepared, he was engaged, and knew what to expect. And again, you know what I mean? If you know what's going on, I always say that. Like, you walk into a fight, you don't know how to put your dukes up, you're going to get knocked out. So I'm glad that that went that way for you. At least you felt prepared, Tristan. So, that let me know and keep me posted as you get the decision to see how that all kind of, settled for you. Based on, let's see, how long you've been as Billy. PNT, no. Once it was a few factors, age factors into it, static conditions and whatnot. If they don't see a probability of improvement, many factors go into that. Not gonna lie, PNT. I'm not gonna lie, PNT easy to get. No, it isn't. There's 18 million veterans, 5 million are rated, and only 1 million are 100%. And out of that, a little bit less PNT. Let's see. If you're in service, no, because again, I mean, that's subjective. You'd be surprised. Numbers actually speak to a different point there. But I get what you're saying. You definitely have a better argument being in service and filing your claims than waiting forever. Do you suggest requesting official DBQs for your claims? How so? As far as from where? Like getting them privately and submitting them? JH? Let me know. Chronic fatigue is a great claim. Yeah, that's a big one too. But the diagnosis aspect for some can become difficult. So that's something to consider. Let's see. I'm positive I get 100% when I ETS because I've given high value claims like sleep apnea, anxiety, plantar fasciitis, pes planus, IBS GERD, lots of other musculoskeletal horror stories worry me. And that's the horror stories are, it comes with the territory, sadly. You know what I mean? People never talk about the good stuff. I can tell I have veterans who won their claim and they're like, no, don't tell nobody. I know people personally who won their claim and people don't even know that people who know them don't even know they got their claim won. So we're quick to say we got denied, but a lot of veterans are quicker to just not say things. So, it's just disproportionately a thing of you hear more bad reviews than good reviews because good reviews are not really, scandalous. Like I'll put a video about dumb ways to file and somebody doing something dumb. It's like, oh my God, heresy. I put a video about some dude winning a claim. It's just like, oh, who cares? So, it just sadly is what it is. Attention. Crazy game. Let's see. Again, links in bio. If you're active duty transitioning, our BDD checklist. It's a free checklist of things to do for transitioning service members. That is on my link in bio. Then how to navigate BDD claims. Your transition roadmap is a course that we're doing live, and I'll be teaching that. That's going to be March 19. The wait list for that, links in my bio. There'll be a discount for those on the wait list. That'll go live next week. So get on the wait list so you can get that information, and it'll be recorded, going through claims for active duty transitioning people A to Z, whether you're a year out, 2 years out, or in the process of being out. Everything from gathering evidence, CMPs, and everything in between will be covered there, and you have access to the recording and and all the stuff that comes with that. So that's some things that we're finalizing some bells and whistles on. But that's coming the 19th. This coming Wednesday, I'm teaching our ACE or CMP class. So if you have a CMP coming up, you want to pop in for that class, you're more than welcome. Links in bio for that too. And then last but not least, I've been asked a lot about folks having a one-on-one with me directly. And I always kind of say I have a team and my time and all these different things. But I'm opening up Fridays and Mondays right now, a few slots to meet with some vets. So they're an hour slots. And if you want to have a conversation, whatever you want to cover is what we'll cover. If it's a CMP prep, it'll be a one-on-one CMP prep. If it's a strategy session for your situation, it'll be that thing. So again, not for everyone, not saying you should do that. If you want to talk to my team, there's a link for that. That's a free call, whatever the case may be, get an assessment. But if you want to have, a one-on-one myself, because apparently people have asked for that, I've added that there as well. So you'll see that in my link in bio, and it'll say session with DP. So just putting those things out there because people have asked. Any help on fibromyalgia claim approved? A Nexus letter helps. Again, how you're arguing that. A lot of folks were like on the Nexus side, well, to chronic fatigue, right? Going to a rheumatologist and knowing how to argue those things, ruling things out. Sometimes folks have some fibro, some folks have chronic fatigue syndrome. So there's a differentiator there. I put a video up on that too on chronic fatigue, and I talk a little bit about fibromyalgia there. But a Nexus letter definitely can help. Depending on how you're filing it, did you complain in service? Did it come up after service? Is it secondary to something else? A few different ways. You're welcome, Kai. All right, let's see. Let's see. Would you be grandfathered in for sleep apnea if rated already, Alina? Yeah, you'll be fine. So there won't be a change per se. We already have it. More so, these changes really kind of take effect and move forward. So um, even if they do get to it right now with the PAC Act, the backlog, the short staff. There's so many things going on right now where it's like I just don't see it honestly. Again, they'll push it through if they want to and they can, but then implementing it's going to take some time. PAC Act went live when the president signed it in the summer, right in August, and then that year 6 months later, in January, it went live, and then he still bastardized that whole thing afterwards. So it's gonna be a rocky road, but no, if you already have your stuff, you're good. It's gonna be one of those things for people from this day forward, right? Those people will be subject to some of that change, so it'll be a rocky road. Vertigos, that's a big one too. Some veterans have that, especially when you're looking at like secondary to tinnitus, some effects and things like that, and how their equilibrium is thrown off. So, what you got, Jacob? If I've been VA for a while now, I keep trying to claim insomnia, and they keep saying sleep apnea. Okay, so do you have a mental health rating? That's the first question there, Joe Peg. Uh, so chronic fatigue and fibro go towards the same rating. If not, is it pyramiding? No, so they're separate things, medically speaking, because there is a differentiator. So there are two completely ratings, but in the diagnosis aspect, they're treated kind of differently. So it really depends if we can identify the symptomology, because there definitely is weakness, but there's pain on one aspect, not so much on the other. So there are a little bit of overlap, but not so much on the medical side of the house. As far as how you treat it, you technically usually would see one or the other. Very few cases where you'll kind of see them both, just because there is an overlap on the pyramiding side, to your point. But chronic fatigue though has a whole ramp where that can go, clear to 100. Fibro will cap at 40. Okay, let's see on this side. Musculoskeletal issues are easy way to get because they're most likely static. They're only 10%, which make it. Yeah. The musculoskeletal stuff, they just tend to be static, but different strokes, different ways, different strategies. So yeah, you're on the path. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Is being airborne what are easy? Again, Jerry, that really depends. You have some folks that are airborne, they're fine. And you got some folks that fell down a flight of steps and completely jacked up their entire knee situation. So it really depends, what I mean, to a good degree. But obviously things like how many jumps you have, disc conditions, knees and feet and so forth. A lot of those musculoskeletal lower extremities, right? They take a lot of beating. Same with the thoracic, with the back and whatnot. Humping around, jumping with these things. You jump and you freaking get caught up in a tree. What I mean? So you could really just argue just about anything. I know folks with, their last jumps, they caught a whole ass TBI. So, you know. Let's see. I was admin to a good degree. No, no, not infantry. No. I was admin for a while. I was a recruiter. I did finance. I spent a lot of time doing dispersing management. I was a first responder for a period of time as well. just doing like MP duty type of stuff. And then from there, I went into law enforcement in the federal government post service. 18 million and change total veterans, and out of that, 5 million and change are rated, of which 1 million and 1.2 or so are rated 100%. Those numbers are actually in the new report that came out from the BVA. So they have an annual benefit report they put out. It's pinned on my YouTube side of the house. I have a new video that I put out for the new stats. Not too much of a difference, so nothing too alarming. But I'll post use those videos at the beginning of the year, covering some of those stats. Not too important to people. Some folks don't really care too much about it, but And is unemployability hard to get? No, but you have to be unemployable, make the argument for it, and show some of that proof. So, for some folks, it's an easy argument. Some folks don't really meet that. So, let's see. Do 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 do. Nah, he was supply. Nah, I wish. Let's see. To get official DBQ, that was used for writing decision. You have documented copies. A FOIA request for sure. 100%, Kevin. Let's see. I have multiple mental health conditions, bipolar, insomnia, anxiety. I only claim this one got 70%. Should I file other two conditions? No. So it's permitting. So you're only gonna have one mental health condition. They won't give you more than one. So in your case now, if it's getting worse, a conversation is gonna be more so an increased conversation. Let's see. Let's see. Disabilities are something to play or bow, be compensated, but don't be greedy. Oh, 100%. But even then, right, that's also very subjective. You have some veterans who won't file for everything because people tell them don't do a thing. There's always going to be a factor or a minority of people that are going to try to get over. But far and few between, more veterans than not have no clue about it, right? So it's very disproportionate. Again, from a fraud perspective, you're going to have your people that do crazy things, but the numbers again don't really match up to the fact where like they're just handing out ratings left and right. You know what I mean? Again, 18 million vets, only a million are 100%. Numbers are kind of skewed, but we think right, everybody's they're handing them out left and right. Not so much. But yeah, for sure, not something to be greedy about. Let's see, deny mental health. I have service to the examiner. Did not. Job with me. Should I put in HLR? I have years worth seeing the site. When was that denial, Jacob? When did that happen? My back hurts. Not all VSOs are the same. If she doesn't feel hurt, we'll try another VSO. Check, man. Find the ones you find the right one. I'm all big on the options for sure. Can you argue a doctor's diagnosis if you believe it was rushed and wrong for CMP? Yeah, you can complain that. I touch on that a lot when it comes to CMPs. Understanding when you're rushed, if you're not able to speak to your truth, if you feel you're belittled, you have horror stories that come out of these things, and I cover a lot of them, these stories that I have. No, Bob, zero's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Zero's good. You can do a lot of different things. You can go up, you can go secondaries. I know veterans who have a 0% rating for one thing and had a secondary to that zero. And you know what I'm saying? Again, the impact on someone's life is huge. So that's very subjective. Just waiting on ACE. I hope I get a call. Okay. ACE exam specifically, because they won't call you for that. You won't. You don't. You don't go in for that. But we get the decision soon. Let's see. Let's see. Can I donate support? Can I donate to support you even though I don't need a meeting? I have definitely benefited. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Honestly, the best thing you could do is just tell someone, man. Honestly, tell someone, what we're doing, who we are, and that's really the best, thing for me. That's why I do things like this. Again, I'll talk about, link in bio, things that we're doing, but it's like I'm pushing you to something, right? More so is because people are asking for these things, so we're responding to it. But no, it's about meeting vets where they're at. Options are good. If this is what you need and this helps, great. Videos help, content helps, great. You need a class, great. You need more, great. Let's offer the things that veterans need. But no, honestly, man, I really appreciate that. Like I said, to me, it's priceless if you can just tell someone, hey, this is the real McCoy. And that's something you can't put a price on because as veterans, we're very disenfranchised with the help that isn't there in many ways, namely the VA, who's let us down. That's really the culprit at all this. It's not the VSO, it's not the lawyer, it's not the third party company, it's not the stuff that we think it is. It's the VA. They create this problem. Because if this conversation was about tax returns and IRS, none of you all would watch this because you just file your stuff and you get your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about the DMV and they don't want to give us our licenses. Said no one ever. It's a pain in the ass, but you get them. So the VA has made the process needlessly complicated for no reason at all. So my point being is, I think veterans are just, they're let down across the ways, different ways. Then they go get help because the system ain't working, and then the help sucks too. So the biggest thing is another veteran saying, "Hey, these cats are real. This dude helped me." You know, what I mean, that to me, that means something. But I appreciate you, man. Like I said, that's the biggest thing I could ask for. Just tell someone, that there are actually some people that actually do care, one veteran at a time. But I'd love to meet you though. So if you pop into a class or meet us, like this coming Wednesday, like pop in or whatever, man. I'd love to chat with you for a little bit. Um, can you own a business if you're TDIU? That's subjective, right? Again, it's an income poverty. You have a cap on income there. So how does that get written off? Right now, you're getting into a situation there where, what I mean, how does that work? Now, some people, quite frankly, could be TIUs. Like, look, you have a business selling some knickknacks, and you made, $100 for the year. You have one, but you're not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same type of thing, right? It's an income conversation. Uh, is it hard to get? Nope. ACE exam schedule for leukemia? Check. You're enough. Glad you're here. Indeed, indeed. I appreciate y'all. Let's see. What is enough evidence? I'm currently active trying to document issues that I have. So, what is enough evidence because I have medical? You're just, I'm telling you, you're way ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, you are way ahead of the curve. You're diagnosed. You have records. You have copies of those things. You can point back to things that happen in service. You have vets that have nothing at all, no diagnosis, never complained in service, don't have those things. So on your side, it's like the pendulum of veteranhood swings from one extreme to the next. You got veterans have nothing, left service, have no records, and are fighting tooth and nail to prove a thing that they just can't show on paper. And then conversely, you have some that overdo it. Hey, thanks there, discerning dash. Little what is this here? $5. Oh, some app. Oh, boop boop boop. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Glad I sub to you since I go live. Since you go live more often than others, prefer lives over videos so I can ask questions. And that's honestly what it is, man. So I'll give you two answers. The one answer is, so somebody on YouTube sent discerning dash, man. Shout out to you. Sent a $5. I don't even know what they call these things, so forgive me. But like a gift thank you thingamajiggy, and his comment was, "Glad I subscribed since you go live more often than others. I prefer lives because I can ask questions." And that's a big thing here. Like videos are great, but this is what it's all about. I love lives. If I could just do lives, that'd be it for me. But many people cannot do it live because if you think about it, I always forget to say this, but it's not like I'm sitting here going, "Okay, chronic fatigue is rated like this." Huh? Like if you don't know your stuff, you're gonna get freaking, squashed very quickly. Um, so it's not easy to be able to be on your feet answering questions and knowing because you have to know your stuff. Not like, I'm still thinking about the first question of an hour ago. Uh, but I think that that's really where a lot of writers get more help. And I always say like this is great, but in class it's even better because then we start together. We're there. I'll sit there and answer. I'll literally pick people out. It'll be like any other questions, and it's like, nah, man, you answered everything, and we'll just stare there and do a thing. But I appreciate you, man. That means a lot. Muchas gracias. Let's put a little let me see what I could do. What I could do here. Let's go ahead and do that thing. Appreciate it. Let's see. Best advice is the best advice to apply myself or go to someone. Again, how confident are you? Vet to vegan, um, VA to vegan. As far as your competency, knowledge, etc. Have you tried a VSO? Have you tried it on your own? What has happened? What have you tried? Those things matter when it comes to that whole process. So just kind of a little food for thought as far as that's concerned. So I'm really big on kind of where are you, right? And what do you need? Because you may not need a lot. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's see. Moving on. Thanks for your service and service to the veterans. Appreciate you. 13 years, first claim. Will it be hard to try and increase my disability? No, my oldest veteran was 90, he's 96 years old. He just won his claim when he was 95, first time filing. I just got back from seeing him in Arizona. So over 50 years out of service. TAU after they left their job. Yeah, that's an argument there. Select that happens. Stuck at 60%. PT is not working. Struggle for our percentage. Victory, yeah, and potentially even secondaries, right? So the different ways to look at that. To now happen today, check Jacob. If PAC Act was not approved, uh, if PAC Act was not approved, I would have never have known I could have submitted a claim. Yep, look at that. If PAC Act was not approved, I would have never had known I could have submitted a claim. And that's the sad part, right? Like how are these things not communicating? I had a veteran wife, so two veterans actually. One of them, two of them cancer actually, real serious. And one of the wife reached out and she's like, we didn't even know. And she saw a video where, I'm freaking having a whole spazzing moment about, intent to file, pack, blah, blah, blah. And they were able to, they saw the video, reached out, rather reached out to the VA, opened the intent to file, did a thing, filed a claim, won his claim, and they would have never known. You know what I'm saying? Got the back pay, all that good stuff. But sadly, in this situation, the veteran in question, he has advanced stage cancer that's terminal. But at least he has those things now, recognized there. But they didn't know. Nobody called them and say, hey, do you have this? So, yeah, stuck on it for a while, thinking of using VA Claims Insider. Thoughts, don't do it. Let's see. Thank you for your service. My son is Sergeant Major in the Marine Corps. Semper Fidelis. That's awesome. Let's see here. Nayeli and Brian across the ways here are both on my team, so we see them kind of jumping and answering questions. That's the crew kind of helping on the back end as I kind of do my little tap dance here. See, I'm learning. I have 40% service connected ratings, and I just said I'm not fighting, but I still have issues, and that's the whole thing. Like, look, you caught your breath, back to fighting. Let's go. Come on now. But you don't know what you don't know, right? Because people tell you, hey, don't push for more, don't fight for more, don't poke the bear, don't be grateful. This, that, the third. It's like, who died and told you what I can and cannot do? You're not the one dealing with my situations. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people play judge and jury about the most dumbest thing because even in service, think about it, right? You weren't like, oh, wait a second, you can't get promoted and get paid more because we're wasting. It's not your benefits to give. I get the whole rationale, but no, make sure you're properly rated. Gatekeeping stuff that ain't mine, that makes no sense to me. You still have issues? That's fight time, like Slick just said. It's sad we have to jump through hoops to far disability. Back to the VA. I'm trying to, but I don't know the correct way to go about it. Well, you started right now, right here, sis. Come on now, hello. You in the club, girl, whether you like it or not. Insomnia hour. Hello. Beep 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 beep. Need to have like a little beat freaking soundtrack. Easiest things to claims, yeah, tinnitus, things like that, obviously are pretty simple and whatnot. But those easy things to claim are always usually the lower rated things for sure. Um, will time and service affect my claims? People at work think I was trying to get out of physical activity at work now. Permanent. No, no, no. So service is service. You know what I mean? Again, there's all this malingering thing. People call them sick call rangers or sick bay commandos and all these different things. Nah. Just received my initial ratings. Will be doing a secondary claim for two conditions that was granted zero. I also have to do a secondary claim. Should I do them at the same time? Yeah, you can argue them at the same time. Yeah, once your primaries are in place and you're making a secondary argument for those secondaries, you can. So it's not like you have to wait. Just make sure you're making the proper argument and have all the things for those two claims. Okay, can you speak on Service Connected? And is it active? User on the community side of the house. Kind of where are you with that? Vincent, what's up? Let's see, I'm still in. I feel like I'm getting worse. I'm seeing my doctors. I know it's a process. And that's the whole thing. Because again, back in our day, people just didn't know these things, right? So yeah, get seen for sure. That's a big one. So you're on the right path. Get the BDD checklist, link my bio. Gives you kind of some things to start making sure you're having in place as you get ready, should the time come to exit service. I got on a few months, but I rarely went to medical due to bad stigma. Join the club. I get it. But that doesn't mean you can't win your claims though. And even then, you still got a few months, you still have time. Because again, one of my oldest veterans was out for 50 years. Carl was out for, I don't know, geez Louise, over 50, 60 almost. So, World War II veteran. My VSO had me mail my claims rather than claiming online. Does that speed the process? Just different ways. It'll still get in there and you'll see it online. So it's just, it's what do we call it? Uh, it's like a tactic, right? There's different ways to do a tactic. The technique remains the same. It's just how you choose to do a thing. The claim gets in. Do 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 do. Make it separated. It was a long time paper process and still missing claims. Check bruiser. You can still push back. Um, let's see. Dun 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 dun. Let's see. Appreciate you, Slick. Okay, let's see. Still in, getting blah blah. What constitutes diagnosis and medical records? Does doc say my records? Yeah, like your problem list on the VA side of the house, diagnosis, IBS, migraines, whatever the case may be. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, thanks, Slick. Appreciate that, man. Reach out to this man. He's knowledgeable and he will fight. Man, look. I believe when you actually do things for the right reason, uh, you can't fabricate that, right? Like I'm straight up live. Like if I'm a complete douchebag, it'd be like, man, this dude is full of it. Don't do that. Don't reach out to this dude because he's full of shit. He screwed me. Still owe me $5. Oh my god. No, I appreciate you, Slick. Um, and the Yelly who's there in the chat there, Island Flavor. She's on the crew on my team as well. So I have the team here as well. Um, let's see. I have one point for my PTSD. Do you know how these things go? What might expect? Thanks, Makesh, for the flower. So a telehealth appointment, pretty much like a regular one. It'll just be more so kind of like in uh, virtual type of situation there where they'll have a conversation. When is that scheduled for you? Let's see, Tristan, discerning, build your evidence. The people at work aren't going to be the ones taking care. You know what? I'm gonna listen to this. This is a good one. So discerning on the tube side of the house mentioned that basically people looking at him certain ways because he's gone sick call, got seen, etc. Tristan responds, discerning to the vet. Build your evidence. The people at work are not going to be the ones taking care of you when your body fails because of what happened to you in service. Man, listen, if you could say that louder for the people in the back one time, that's it, man. Like, people are real quick with it, but then when you're the one over there laid out, like, oh man, we never knew. Again, how would you? Do you prefer a quick submit for a secondary or something to claim? Either one of those works. We have a good video on the tube side of the house on a quick submit that Brian actually voiced over. So there's that part. Um, I know I'm asking. Quick submit is better. Secondary, something to claim. I have both claims. Secondary. So yeah, no. So on the supplemental side of the house, yeah, you can definitely go that way. The secondary would go regular, unless it was denied, and you're doing also as a supplemental appeal type of situation. Let's see. Not much wrong, honestly, with me. I just don't know where to start. Check, and that's where again, this is how you even start, right? If you don't know what you don't know, here we begin the process of at least educating to kind of point you in the right direction. I got medically separated. That was a long time, painful process. Check, we got that one. You can have secondary from there. Any idea how much major depressive or diagnosed PTSD generally rate? The most common degree disability is 70%. I touch on that on some of the videos that I pinned, but really it's a symptom-based conversation. So you could be at 0, you could be 100. It really depends, honestly, kind of where your symptoms are at. As apparently, as I scroll down, Nayeli has said as well. I love the fact that as a team, like we'll say the same things. Like I'll say about reading it, and I'll get to, I'm like, oh crap, there it is. But yeah, it's that's the way to go about it. When the new mental health criteria will be implemented. There's no implementation date on the tube. Same username. I posted up a video that's also on the talk that I touch on that. It's the video that went up. I touch about the proposed changes for mental health ratings and insomnia and sleep apnea, but it's not effective. It's not something that yet is been pushed. The dispense date is June of this year, so it's been going open since 2022. I was in the Marine Corps less than a year, 11 months or so. I got out, was assaulted, never filed, but other veterans told me that I should. Yeah, something potentially to look at. Thanks for following on follow flavored. Um, let's see, to Jacob Peace. That's a big one too. You may not need us. You might just need a call or a class or option. So I'm big on that. Again, it's not me trying to blow smoke up anybody's behind. That's why I link my bio. Again, come to our class next Wednesday. It's a CMP class. That's what you need. It's $47. You're fine. You're transitioning. You want to take a class that we're teaching, talking you through the whole process of transitioning and VA claims for those folks. Jump on that wait list. You get a discount. That'll be about $47 there too. If not, it'll be like $67. And then if you want to have a call with me one on one, links in there too. Again, for some people, that's what they need. So my whole thing is options, right? Being able to know that not everybody needs everything under the sun, and we'll tell you too. So we keeps it real. Sick call commando, says Kevin. Let's see, discerning. Feeling the same way. What way was offered? A med board said no. Now my body is literally breaking down, and everything has gotten worse. I'll take a med board anytime now. I'm in physical therapy down for issues, and that's sometimes the thing. Like I get it, we want to push through, and kudos to you. You wanted to stay, and then it's like, nah, that med board probably was the better way to go. But here we are now. But thankfully, at least you know how to be able to push forward. Tassel, thanks so much for this live. I've been fighting for 30 years now, and your knowledge gave me a boost. Man, look, that's it. Shut down the live. Boom. Mission accomplished. And I'm not being facetious, man. You know what I mean? If it helped you, Tasso, to be able to look at things this way, that's my big thing. I'm big on hope. It might sound cheesy, it might not be very clickbaity and whatever it is, but that's what it comes down to, man. Like again, I just came from Arizona, and Carl, our oldest veteran, he turned 96 years old. His first claim was when he was 95. Before him, my oldest veteran was a Vietnam veteran who was out for 50 years before he filed his first claim. My point being is they both won their claims. It's possible. There's hope. It is possible to do this. 30 years ain't nothing to scoff at, man. That's a whole life. And to the point, if you now have the boost to be able to say, hey, I'm going to try this, I'm going to give this a try because everybody and mama said it's not going to work, whatever, it is possible. And if people can have just a little bit of hope in a process that's broken, it's jaded, I'm not saying it's easy, but that goes a long way. So that really to me means everything, Tasso, honestly. But I'm glad that this has been helpful. That's literally everything for me. How long after DBQs have been submitted should I expect to move to prep for decision? So that depends on the VA. There's so many ways that can go, honestly, sadly. So yeah, that's a crapshoot. All right, speed rounds. Commando. Okay, subscribe, subscription, go, progress, tree. Janoko, awesome. Appreciate you. I have to check out half of this stuff means, man. So I think Janako subscribe. Appreciate you for that. So you got like a little thingamajiggy there. At the end of this, I'm actually making a point to. I have to figure out how to do it on the tube. On this side, I'm gonna switch some things around, see how that works, whatever. But I think that when I'm done with this, I should be able to actually. I'll try this tonight. But I want to say if you're subscribed, I can do a subscribe only thing. So basically, the chat stops and you can only comment if you're subscribed. So, that might be something interesting because sometimes trolls and things like that. But yeah, Janoko, we'll put some time for you to have your own time for questions. Thanks for sharing, Tasso. Brother, just retired from the Marine Corps. Based on your experience, how long is the BDD process? It can really vary, honestly. It's supposed to be textbook that by the time you leave service, you should have your benefits. That's where it's supposed to be, right? Benefit delivery on discharge. But sometimes it might take, a month or two longer. It's the VA. They make the process so difficult. Facts. If you answered, don't know if you answered or not. Can I file TDIU if I left my previous job? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So again, the TDIU argument, Slick, really can be made in various ways, right? There are instances where, like, look, I just can't do this anymore for a variety of different reasons. You're able to make the argument. You're able to show that. You get called in. You explain the situation to them, and based off your rated disabilities, then IU can be awarded. So that's very um, common. Yeah. Let's see, HLR, worth it. Feel like I'm having everything I need in my win my claim. Yeah, try the HLR. That doesn't go, then potentially look at a higher level. I mean, a supplemental claim, sorry. And add was needed. Thanks for following, good people. Thanks for the rose. I like that. Make it happen. Make it happen. I like that. Just make sure you know. Check, check, check. Getting my 214 tomorrow. 214 tomorrow, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Joseph, appreciate that. Flower. Let's see. Um, Janoko, how important are written down statements? I have accounts of everything that happened. For what specifically, Janoko, we're looking at here as far as what you're filing? Oh, thank you. I left my job over 30 days ago. We had to go. Check, check. What about special military compensation, special monthly compensation rather, SMCs? Those trigger for different things. So things like erectile dysfunction, etc. That really kind of factors into that. Oh, we're on the tube. Let's see. Filing for overactive bladder secondary to low back strain. I was seen while in service and also by the VA after I got out. Do you think KDB, the mortgage lender? Thanks for following. Let's see. For service, VA got out. Do you think I need a DQ? We were seeing a service, right? How long have you been out, Uno? Because I can go a few different ways there, for sure. I would say for sure, it's one of those things doubling down with the next letter WQ is needed. It does help make the argument, especially if we've been out for a little bit of time. So, yeah, it's a big one. I've heard people say you should do all claims at once to avoid delays. It depends, right? How you're arguing it. If you're transitioning, yes, you've been out for a long, long time. It's like, wait a second, these are secondaries. Let's get the primaries, then the secondaries. So that kind of varies there. Um, but yeah, concur with Brian. Let's see. Written down. Check. Any write-ups at work, loss of times, those things help make the argument for you for sure, Slick. Things definitely could help there. Agree with Nayeli. But I saw my BDD claim in 2 weeks. How long will it take to get CMP assignment done? So they vary, honestly. Um, when they schedule availability, all these different things. When do you ETS? When do you get out? Link in bio. I'm teaching a class for BDD transitioning service members. On the 19th, there's a wait list. Jump on it if you're able to attend. Mental health CMP was an emotional one. Ended with the examiner giving me counseling. I got my rating back last week after 19 years out. Thank you for all the info. Awesome, Eddie. I'm so glad to hear that on your side of the house. Got my rating back after 19 years. Awesome, awesome. That's good to hear. Sunshine. How did that? When did that happen? How long does it take for a rating if I'm already service connected? I had CMP about 3 weeks ago. Same again. It's a new claim, so it goes through the same life cycle. It could vary. Um, let's see. Okay, CPAP. Has CMP. Yeah, it varies. Wally, honestly, I mean, there's no like speed track to it. It's all VA, and it could go weeks, months, sometimes. Let's see. I sat in your class 2 days prior to my CMP. Sunshine. Awesome. Awesome. How did it help for you in your process there and the counseling part? I'm really glad to hear that because sometimes some of these examiners, man, they're just not very empathetic and helpful, but they have a duty, and the fact they were able to spend some time with you and give some counseling to you and support that speaks volumes, which means you were able to open up, and really kind of be vulnerable and do what you had to do as we discussed in class. So that's awesome, Sunshine. Which class did you come to? Also have service issues. I had meniscus October. Okay, let's see. Um, okay. Still unsure what to do, though I've been considered onset PTSD, but I have not been diagnosed. Okay, gotta get diagnosed. That's a big one there. Okay, we got you ready, Wally. Run up the lights, Joseph. A sleep apnea, CPAP machine. It can go to 50%, but you have to argue the service connection for it. How long does it take for a rating if I'm already service connected? Okay, we recovered that one. Still in. Still can feel it getting worse. Check. 100%. What should I focus on next? All the benefits on that side of the house, right? If there's property, things like that, getting care, getting things registered, that's a big one. Can I add more than one service connection? Yeah, Mario. Does it take an anxiety high merit a higher percentage? Nope. It's symptom based, not medication based. What if my nexus? What if my nexus is a decision letter and the evidence part, but not the decision factors? They probably didn't weigh, so you can potentially push back and appeal it. Thank you, sir, and you and your team are godsend. Man, look, that's what it's all about. Trying to be for the next person what we wish somebody was for us. How long does it take to get a rating if I'm already service connected? Are you answer that one? Jinx. Yep. All about the symptoms. Green globe. Matter of fact, I like that. Let's go ahead and pin that. Let's see. How helps you the process, preparation, application? Yeah, it really can't speed it up. It's literally a whole thing of just how that process works. Why is service connected over there to my original Dave? On my first deployment, any tips? Stay safe. And if anything happens, you got things documented. You're welcome, Mario. How about a year from ETS? Should I go through the process? On the BDD process, when you're 180 day out, you can start the process that way, and then the last day for sure. It definitely helped. Your class was very informative. I'm being open and honest with the examiner. That's it. There it is. There it is. And again, well, see, and again, you can't script this. So Sunshine, I don't know. Again, in social media, I don't know who's who, the names and stuff like that. Came to our class. She was able to go in there, had a good session, and to her own words here, your class was informative and being able to be open and honest with the examiner and knowing how to do that. Again, it's easier to just Google, go in there, go say something. Eh. But I'm glad that I helped you. We're having our next CMP class this coming Wednesday. So ACE or CMP exam. So right now, fingers crossed, I'm hopeful that worked out for you. But it's very indicative, again, if you were able to have that time after CMP, you don't see that too often. But as long as you were able to, hit those points, you knew what to expect, you did what you had to do. So I definitely want to hear the outcome for sure. Sunshine on your side, as far as how that went for you. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I think I'm caught up on this side. Thanks for the flowers and likes. How much evidence is enough evidence? Enough, Queen, to be able to actually point to a thing. Not 1,000 pages, right? But diagnosis, chronicity, care, etc. Like, really being able to point the finger there as to what's there. So that's subjective sometimes. Some folks overkill and put needless things. Should I be honest about substance abuse or overshadowed? No, it's more like the kettle, which came first, right? The egg or the chicken type of thing, right? It's more so I understand that things I do is because of this. I'm not because of my liquor. I'm rather I liquor because of my thing. You know what I mean? So it's really understanding how those things would be argued for sure. Husband was diagnosed with sleep apnea. They say they won't tie it to his rating since he is in active duty. Different ways to go there. Does he have a diagnosis for anything, Christina? On to the tube. Let's see. Um, okay, got out 2020. I just received my initial rating this week. Submitted my claim 822. Okay, check. Can I file back? My back was in a car accident. Therapy waiver joined back locking up. Yeah, yeah. You need to be able to show that to Brian's point, the aggravation aspect there for pre-existing conditions. So concur. And if the accident was in service, yeah, for sure. You're welcome, Jesse. Christina, on your husband's side, is he ready for anything? Alrighty, that puts us in an hour, 10 minutes. I said I was going to come for five. I am a habitual liar. I always say 5 minutes and then we stay for an hour and change. But no, again, it's kind of cool. I like to test stuff. So to me, it's just kind of dope that I'm talking and lit on two platforms at the same time. So I appreciate y'all indulging me and hopefully, yes, 5 minutes. Yeah. I'll just say that I am the complete opposite of stuff like, oh man, this dude's like a 5 minute dude. I'm like, not in my world. Shit. I don't know about all that stuff, but I could talk for an hour. Everything else, look, the way my back is set up. Let's not get crazy. Let's see. Brian, never been seen or been seen. I believe X-ray MRI showed aggravation, but how exactly do I prove it? Other than that, you're welcome, Uno. Yeah. So again, that's where the chronicity of how things are at. But again, you're in service, so there's just you're kind of already in that time frame where things are again in your benefit. So you have to be careful not to overthink yourself and talk yourself out of a situation. Sometimes vets get overzealous with a thing and just overshoot it. So be in your situation. Let's say if you have someone who's ready in service, these things happen. That definitely would be helpful for sure. Is it hard to go from zero upward around disorientation of time and place? Look, that is a symptom. That is a symptom. Disorientation of time and place. Where am I? Where's the time gone? ED secondary to diabetes. Do I need to prove this if I'm prescribed medication from the VA? Yeah, yeah, because you have a diagnosis. That's still not disability though. In the sense of how we're gonna tie it back. So you're gonna say it's secondary to something else. Where's the argument? Maybe a nexus can help. Different ways to kind of make that argument for sure. Do 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 do. All right. Let's see. As we prepare to wrap, make sure. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, let's see. Do, 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 do. All right. So, righty. I think appreciate the info advice for sure. Let's see. Is there a difference between 100% and 100% PNT? Not in pay and benefits, yes. And that's really the big thing there because for like property taxes and certain things, PNT is kind of like the thing. Whereas 100% by itself, you're getting paid the same, but benefits like Champ VA, dependent benefits, things as such, really kind of kick in on the PNT side of the house, right? And it's permanent total. The 100 might be subject to reevaluation. They may not think that you get 100% permanent total. But upon reevaluation, you can definitely potentially be awarded that. So I for sure can speak to that. I went to 100 and I was at 100 for like 5 years, I want to say, before I got reevaluated. And then I went to PNT. So thanks for the follow, Pumpkin Queen. Um, all right. So quick little 2 minute warning. If you have any last minute questions, go ahead and pop them in so we can try to get them to answered. Make sure to hit the link in bio, get what you need, whether it's the BDD checklist is free, whether it's getting on the wait list, whether it's signing up for Wednesday's class, the ACER CMP, or having a one-on-one with me. Check those things out. Jump on there, tell a friend, share the information. That's what it's all about. My husband is a veteran. What branch was he in, Pumpkin? All righty. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. On the tube side of the house, discerning. Thanks for the gifts. That was amazing. Marine Corps, awesome. When did he get out? How long does it take for decision after all information is in? Normally, it depends, Vegan. I've seen stuff like our one of the fast ones we had. Last year was 32 days. Others, we just had one vet win a claim back from 2021. So, uh, let's see. Uh, Amy just sent the message that she may have to bite the bullet. Her computer has kicked the bucket. So, dun, dun, dun. Yikes. Let's see. I have this degenerative disease, 30%. Just watch. I just watched one of your videos. Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, I got a few of them out there. It's funny. This whole all this stuff is crazy. Um, TikTok went crazy on the follows, and it's just been insane. I just talked to a great psychologist that we're going to partner with. So always adding new people to the network that we partner with. And it's funny because he's like, "Yeah, somebody sent me one of your videos." I'm like, "Yeah, that's sometimes my videos precede me in this space, so that's kind of interesting." But you have to be doing things for the right reason. Again, we're putting our faces out there. Other organizations, you don't even know who they are, right? They're nameless. You don't know who they are. You don't know who's behind these individuals. And I know who they are because it's a small space, but be careful. You know. Let's see how to get a one-on-one consultation with me personally. Link is in my bio for that. But you can have a conversation. I have a whole team, and they'll do assessments and things like that. So those things are there. Classes on Wednesday, but link is in my bio for that. For the ones I have, um, some folks have asked to have like specifically like a CMP prep with me one-on-one or a strategy session with me one-on-one, just that type of thing. So I've opened up Fridays and Mondays, put a few slots in there. So that link is in my bio, and that's an hour. So you know that's something that is for someone. Again, not pushing that. If it's something that the folks have asked for, it's there. But there are other options for sure. So pick what you like and what makes sense to you. Increases do not index is correct. No, Felicia, do not. So, and a great question, actually. So let's pin that because I think that's a good point to make. The question was, you do not need a nexus letter for increases. No, so a nexus letter is used a lot to help make the connection. Nexus means connection, so to get service connected. Once your service connected, the conversation is simply a symptom conversation. So you can have a DBQ filled out by your doctor, speaking to, let's say, your symptoms, right? That's fine. But a nexus, no, you don't need a rationale because you're already service connected. Arguably, you can speak if you can speak to the symptoms, you don't really need anything. But if you have, a doctor who is willing to do, let's say, a DBQ for your migraines to show how it's gotten worse, that's fine. But no, not a Nexus. My rating was back when I got out of active duty. Check. Yeah. Mm-hmm. BDD. How long ago did you get out? Let's see. I feel like I'm going to be a chapter 18. Why'd you say that? 2020. Check. How does a person reapply for tonight's denied? You appeal it. In your case, if things were missing, you might have to do supplemental. But again, the diagnosis, when it started, is it current, and be able to speak to those things there for sure. On the Tube Side House, thanks for the follows and the thumbs up and all that cool stuff. This is dope. A little multitasking. I like it. What should I do with my enlistment bonus? If you're smart, you invest it and put it away and don't spend it. Um, yeah, it's me personally. I say put it into Bitcoin, but I'm not opening that kind of worms. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Do 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 do. I don't have my Bitcoin hat on, so we're not talking about that right now. But my head's right there. Anyways, he's in the review phase right now. Check. Okay. Cluster headaches, vegan. My stepdad has chronic headaches. What do you think? So vegan. So for the cluster headaches, that can go up to check on overweight. Depending on the frequency and intensity, 30%, 50%, right? I have a video, you can look into that. I have one, I cover migraines one-on-one, and I touch on that. They're both here in the talk or on the tube, so you can take a look at those things. Yeah. Um, nope, I do not. I do not. My job is to help veterans solve the problem. But yeah, the BVA don't pay for night hours like this. Let's see. How much should I invest my TSP Well, it depends how much is your allocation to your TSP, how aggressive are you looking, or how much time do you have to retirement, how old are you, how much time are you going to be investing into it, the aggressiveness and your tolerance, your, tolerance for downturn and things like that. That's going to be a big thing. So your risk tolerance when it comes to investment is going to be a big one. So, if you're short term, you might have to be a little more conservative. So that really kind of varies there. Wow. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Let's see. How often does the VA get service dates wrong? A lot. If you get rated 100%, is health cover only for yourself? No, if you're 100% regular, you're gonna have care for your rated conditions at the VA. But if you are PNT, then Champ VA kicks in, and those are benefits that are available to your dependents. Ryan. Uh, uh, have you tried Manjaro? I don't know what that is. What is that? I may know what it is, but I can't really right now put a thing to it. So, tell me, what is that, please? No, was I infantry? Life is only pain. Pain is my friend. Without pain, I have no friends. I saw this thing on freaking Instagram. This dude from Samoa, and he makes his skits, army, and the skits like he's overweight. He's talking about working out, and he's trying to play it off like it doesn't hurt. And the dude's like, hey, buff, are you fine? And he's just like, yeah, yeah, I'm good. He's like, look, you in pain. he goes, he goes, pain, pain is my friend. He's like, no, he said, pain, I love pain. Pain is my friend. Without pain, I have no friends. Oh my God. I've never felt so understood in my life. That video, oh goodness. I don't care how bad I feel, that thing will make me piss my pants. Pain is my friend. Without pain, I have no friends. My God, it's just so hilarious. But because this guy's full blown, he's like, he's dripping sweat and all that stuff. And he's like, pain is my friend. Without pain, I have no friends. Oh my God. Thanks, Felicia. That's it, the dementedness of us veterans, but yeah, yeah, you gotta find something to laugh at, man, because there's enough to cry about. But yeah, that's something funny there. Let's see. I feel like I'm gonna be. We have some. We do work with some people who, for sure, are in that bucket, Jamie. So I definitely understand. I understand for sure. If I get 100%, can I use my jet? But you use a bill regardless, Bobby. Doesn't matter. That's separate from a rating. Well, what timeline the VA what the timeline VA process a case? 3 months to a year. Yeah, it depends. Some could go three, some go to a year. Really depends. Is the life insurance VA office worth it? I'm not really big. I'm not real. I'm not like an insurance guru. We have somebody who's really good at that kind of stuff. He can kind of speak better to that. But it seems pretty competitive, depending on what is out there. So there's a little bit of that. Medication for type 2 diabetes. Okay, yeah, no, no, no. No, have not. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Well, final phases right now. Information is in. They get coming up a rating. Check. I had a few of them. I did a lot of time in finance and disbursement and accounting. So, the finance monetary side of the house, and then I was admin for a while. Then I did some recruiting, did some MP kind of stuff, worked there. Then I went to federal government afterward and went into counterterrorism for a bit, and I was a federal air marshal. Never used my GI Bill. Uh, I can use. Oh, check. Yeah, you can use it. Yeah, you can. 100% PNT. If my migraines goes up, does that increase my pay condition get worse? Nope. It won't make a difference, Latrell. Can the VA take away 100% PNT for fraud or something, crazy? Do I have? Yep, I do. And they love the fact that apparently that seems to be all over freaking TikTok. So that's always a hilarious, fun conversation. So stateside, I was in Fort Drum. I was in Dix for a little bit, and a little bit here, a little bit there. Just made the 100% club. Awesome, Rob. I'm glad to hear that fight is over for you. Not glad that you're 100, not glad that you're disabled, but glad that the fight is over. So I always like to preface that because it's a weird thing. I'm like, oh, congrats, it's your broken, and you recognized it, Um, let's see. Since doctor wrote a note saying he can't work because of cluster headache, is that good? Yeah, yeah. But even then, so it's how is he going to argue it, right? How do you connect it back to service? So that's fine, but more so, it's now how do we connect back to service? Did you complain to service? It is a Is it a secondary or something else? So those things help, but really, it's more the argument how we connected. Can the VA do a reassessment? Nope. They should not because you're permanent total. That's the whole thing, right? You're permanent total, so they're saying you're not going to get it better. We're not going to waste. You're not going to come back and check on you unless there's some exaggerate reason why they need to do that thing. Yeah, hamstring's coming up. Do you know? It's as long as the symptoms don't overlap. Again, that's a different situation there. So PNT, already answered that. Any info on using the VA? So it can help, but doesn't guarantee a thing. It's just more medical proof to argue to your disability and kind of where that's at. Yep. If I could go back in time, I still wouldn't list check. When you turn 54, are you locked in for life? 55 is the age to look at there as far as like static claims and things of that such. Like they're not going to really reduce you past certain points there. But yeah. Does the VA miss CMP exam for things claim? What do you mean miss? All right, well, that's way more than the 5 minutes I was going to stick around for, but it's just 5 minutes. I do have kids. His information session was so helpful. You're welcome. That's what it's all about. During MEPS, they did a plantar fasciitis screening and determined that I had it. Can that be claimed? Great question, Jose. So this is a good one. This is now we start to argue aggravation. So some things are caused by service, some things are made worse by service. So in your case, you can't file a claim saying I have flat feet because the service did not cause that. You came in here with flat feet, but the service made the flat feet worse. Aggravation is the claim, and that's how you make the argument, and that's how you'll be able to file that. If you do it the other way, not so much. Let's see. What did you do on your first contract? And I was an accounting specialist. Let's see. Why did I get only one CMP exam for hearing but not PTSD and depression? How many did you get? Exams. What is the rating for eating disorder? So eating disorder is unique. It can go to 100. It's a little bit different than a mental health one, but it is a mental health rating. But that's more so on the bulimia side of the house, losing weight, all these different things like that. So eating disorder in the sense of drastically going down on the scale. Just one check. Okay. Okay. So Austin. Yeah, because PTSD and depression, it's all one thing. Yeah, yeah. So that's all mental health. So one mental health exam will cover those two. Can you explain how IU is and what's the difference between that and 100%? Yeah, sure, Mo. So IU in TDIU, IU is total disability due to individual unemployability. That's when you have a rating, let's say you're 80%, 90%, 70%, etc. And you have to be over like those numbers, right? But I'm 80%, 90%, and because of my rated conditions, I'm unemployable. So I filed to the VA and say, look, I'm filing for TDIU because of my rated conditions. I may not be scheduler to go to 100, but because of my rated conditions, I'm arguing that I'm unemployable, showing my work history, lack thereof. That whole thing is looked at. I submit those records, that information, work gaps, etc., things of that such, and in turn, that is awarded. Now, when you have TDIU, let's say for example, you're 80% and you're awarded TDIU, you're still 80, but you're paid out at the 100% rate, and you get the benefits of 100% PNT. But there is an income cap in place, the national poverty line. So it doesn't mean you can't work. That's a misconception. You can. You can be a Walmart greeter. You can do things. Do something. But you're not going to have gainful employment because the minute you can do that, technically you're employable. So that defeats the TDIU purpose. But while you're TDIU, you can still file for other claims, and some people do go from TDIU to scheduler. So there's TDIU 100% because you're unemployable. There's 100% scheduler straight because your ratings just add up to 100. And then there's 100% PNT, which is now that the likelihood of improvement is not going to be there. So that's the biggest difference there. 100 straight just means that, hey, you could get better. But on the other hand, the PNT says not so much. Thanks for the rose, Mose. Thank you for that. Let's see. Hopefully that makes sense. First file for benefits in March '07. Still fighting nothing. I got other than honorable, but they won't upgrade it. What branch of service were you in, Scott? I just put a video up on discharge upgrades, and I have it also under the tube. I didn't get those. Is what I'm saying. Let's see. Why did I only get one CMP exam? Is the claim closed out? Because sometimes if they don't call for a CMP and you didn't get one, do you have a diagnosis? Like, what's the rationale behind that? Because there have to be a reason for them not to call you for a CMP. It does happen sometimes. So apologies for that and not catching that as you said it. Let's see. Did you rate 100% for a combination of those things? It's babe. It's a babe. Um, I got hit in Afghanistan and refused to go. I got hit in Afghanistan and refused to go big after doing an 18-month tour. Um, okay, big what? What do you mean, Scott? Okay, let's see. Once you are go back, are you? Can you get removed? Yeah, so you can upgrade there. So Felicia, you can go from TDIU to PNT 100%. So it's not so much to remove it; it's a lateral move, right? You go from 100 TDIU rather, let's say, to 100 PNT. That's a very common thing that happens. But the benefits all stay the same because you're still treated in the same PNT category. Thank you for answering my question so much. I'm at 80% check. So yeah, that's an argument you can make for sure, Mo, on your side. Can claim insomnia secondary to due to stress caused by the military, but it depends, Jose. With the way they're treating insomnia now, do you have a mental health rating? Right, that's the biggest thing. Because if you do, it's not going to work. It's going to be something they'll treat as a symptom, but not by itself. So, um, check Army, then realistic to Navy. Okay, I've been using 30 CFR to help other veterans from my unit. Check, Kurt. That's what it's all about. I like me some CFR 38. Let's see. Hey, sorry, I just joined. I'm 100% PNT. Does that mean I can't work? No, it does not mean that. It just means your permanent total and the likelihood of improvement is not there, but you're just that. TDIU is the one that has an income cap. Let's see. Question: I got diagnosed with a president's order. What are the steps to creating a paper trail? For what purposes, Jerry, specifically? What are we talking about? As far as the claim's concerned, how are we going to connect it back? So the paper trail has to be specific to what you're trying to do, right? For claim purposes, that depends. And here comes TikTok. Great job. You've been live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break. It was supposed to be 5 minutes, TikTok. What happened? Okay. Okay. Got that, got that, got that. Is anything needed to apply for TIU? Yeah, a whole form. This is a whole form you're filing, and they're going to have certain information in there. So you file that, and they'll take all those things into consideration. I'm waiting to hear back from mental health rating. Jose, check. Trying to get 46 Sierra as a MOS. Check. Okay. Why do you want to go that route? How often do appeals get overturned by higher level reviews for aid attendance? Quite often if things are missed, for sure. Perfect. Thank you for answering. Check. Claims. Yeah, paper trail, you're gonna have to tie that back then. In that case there, how are you gonna file it? How long have you been out of service? Are you filing a two service? Did you complain in service, or are you complaining the mental health is secondary to something that's already rated, right? So different ways that can kind of go. Stony, fellow veteran, what's up? It seems fun. Cool. I like it. I love it. Get some more of it. Okay. All right, good people. That will be the evening there as we come to a close. Um, so yeah, I want to say she's at 80, Felicia. I want to say most of she was 80, if I'm not mistaken. So she should be good on that number. But yeah, there is a criteria where people they need to definitely know for sure. Thanks for your lives, always informative. Thanks, Jose. I appreciate you. That's what it's all about. Let's see. Kevin is in the building. What's up, good man? When will you be back on? Let's see, Adriana. When will you be back next live on live? So I'm trying to get into a rhythm, but I also, like I said, do a lot of other things. I'm literally here on the talk, here on the tube, so I'm multitasking a little bit. And then now I'm trying to take some phone calls, so that'll take some time. That'll be one-on-one with veterans and class and things that I teach. But the best way is to turn on the bell notification so it tells you. But I'm trying to get into a rhythm and have like a set schedule for some of these lives just because the random ones I'll do, but the schedule ones I think will be cool. Like every Wednesday night I teach a class, every single Wednesday night. One week it's just orientation basics. This week coming up is going to be HRCMP, and I just keep doing this back and forth. I've been doing that for like the last 3 years. So I'll have to work out something that may be potentially. Oh, thanks, Mo. For all the roses. I was watching somebody. They do this thing that they do on live now, where they're like under a water thing, and they're like, "No, don't do that. Don't send more likes." And it's a little water thing, and then they get freaking splits, and I'm just like, I'm in the wrong line of business. This is ridiculous. I'm joking, but But it's the fads, right? Like at one point, everybody was an NPC and everybody was doing this whole thing, and it was just like, thank you for the popcorn, blah 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 blah. Now it's all this other crap and people media. But no, I'm thinking Wednesdays are my class days that I do for our vets. So those days I kind of don't try to do too much because I like to focus on what I'm doing there. It's a whole process for me to be able to do that. So I'm thinking maybe like a Thursday or like a Tuesday. I'll see. But I'll pick a time that works, probably like an afternoon type of thing. Then these I just kind of pop in, as I'm done doing stuff. I just got done reviewing some stuff, and it's like I'll be tell the team like, hey, I'm gonna go live, and they're like, oh crap, you're supposed to be sleeping. I'm like, I have insomnia. But yeah. But again, links in bio. Class is on this week for ACCMP. Waitlist for our active duty people. That class that I'm teaching for the BDD class, that's there too. Waitlist, join it. And my personal link is up now, so I have some slots for some one-on-ones. Not too many, so I got like a few slots open. Then I'll just kind of keep opening them as we go. So for those that have asked. My cousin has like that for Operation Enduring Freedom. Yeah, I got both of them. I was OEF and OIF. So both Enduring and Iraqi Freedom. I should get the other hat too. Now I think about it. I have the OIF. I never actually got an OEF. Randomly, I just literally thought about it right now. But anyway, I have insomnia too. I'm cooking steak and listening to this is ridiculous. Man, look, steak. I got a whole ass freaking kitchen set from TikTok. I gotta post a damn video. They send free stuff and you review it too, so I gotta freaking do that. I did like an earwax, not earwax, like an ear thing review on one of the videos, and that thing went crazy. Now I'm getting inboxes to review other ear crap. I'm like, oh Dios mío. But I did get like a whole knife set. I like cooking, so they sent that. I gotta do a review on that at some point. But then I also did get the Shilajit, the little tar looking thing everybody's talking about. And actually, that's been pretty good, actually. So a little insomnia with a little bit of that goes pretty crazy. But I got to post that video review up before I get freaking a nasty gram for them because they send it for free. I was in Iraq '09 to 2010. I was in southern Iraq in Talil, Cobb Adder. But we were all over southern and northern Iraq, so we were all over the place. Mr. CMP do the health notification same day. Will it hurt me? Yeah, nah. They may close it. They're kind of a hole sometimes, but hybrid communication is a big thing. You're welcome, Felicia. I've been waiting for 3 years. Raul. Okay. All right, so we got Adriana's question. Okay. Remember the USS Liberty? Yeah. Okay, 3 months ago, I haven't saved my claim because I'm lazy and I don't know how. Well, you're in the right place. Start consuming content, start asking questions. Not this week coming up, but the following week, jump into my orientation class. Links in bio. Sign up. It'll send you a reminder. I cover claims basics, kind of how we help veterans to do what we do. But open an intent to file, start learning, start asking questions, start getting bursts, get some help, and you know, it matters. Even if it's like nothing, in a sense, not nothing, but in a sense that even if it's a 10%, 20%, the point is you get on base because as things get worse and time moves on, I'll tell you, someone that works with a lot of veterans, there's some sad stories, man. Talk to widows, I talk to folks that lost, their faculties and they can't anymore. And it's like, crap, you waited too long. Okay, sorry, in service, Tanya. Check. That's a common one. How long were you in service or out of service rather? 6 months till I get out. How do I get start with all this shut documentation or whatever? Link in bio. Jump in my BDD class. I'm literally teaching a class for people transitioning from active service to answer questions just like that. March 19, that is happening. So do that. I also have a free checklist you can get. Boop, 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 boop. But start getting seen. To Tanya's point, records, all these different things. The checklist is good because it kind of tells you like a little roadmap of how to do some of those things. Also for Champ BA, I'm so confused. Thank you, Gina. If he's 100% PNT, check if he's 100% PNT. If so, yes. Champ BA is for you and other benefits too, even Chapter 35. Get back to school if you want to. My claim has been stuck in Edwards gathering space since December. Yeah, that's just VA being VA. Alrighty. I think that we are good. Jeff, what's up, brother? Been battling since '07. Man, look, still in the fight. Still in the fight. Okay, so participate in our beta test to help improve user experience, allowing 6-minute preview of your sub only live. You can opt out. What's this? Let's see what this is about here. Switch to sub only live. You won't be able to switch back. Okay, I don't know what this is here. Preview, only subscribers can watch this live. Da, 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 da. All right, so I don't know what this is here, but I guess it's a preview thing. So that probably there shut down the chat as we switch on over. But I appreciate you all for spending some time here with us, talking a little about VA claim and the insomnia hour of claims. Thanks to the folks here on the talk. Thanks for the folks on the tube side of the house. Feel free to look me up on either platform because it's all the same name. Very creative, I know. But more to follow. Check the links in my bio, and I will be back soon. So hit the little notification bar and you'll know about it. But check out the video I just put on YouTube on the proposed changes. Alrighty, that slows down that there. Well, I don't know what the preview thing is supposed to be, but nonetheless, we'll end it there. So we will be back. Have a great night, y'all, and be safe.